So just a quick recap. We bought this property and moved here just over a month ago now, I think. Lawn's not in very good nick, trying to bring it back and just getting it ready for spring renovation. So today's episode is going to be all about weed control. So I'm super pumped for today's episode. I feel like I was born for this. So this is all about how to control weeds in your lawn, what options are out there for you, and when to go with something like this over when to go with something like this. So I'm going to walk you through these products that I've got here. Okay, so first and foremost, I've got here a bottle of Javelin. So this is the same product as bow and arrow, so a lot of you will know it as bow and arrow. So this is a selective herbicide that is meant to be used on, well, it can be used on any sort of real type of lawn. It doesn't, the reason people go with Javelin or bow and arrow is because it is safe on Queensland blue couch lawns and also buffalo lawns. So some of the, I guess, cheaper herbicides on the market, selective herbicides, they're fine for like your zoysias or your, green couch, but unfortunately, blue couch and buffalo, they're a little bit trickier to deal with. The next one I've got is Surefire Buffalo. So this product, very similar to this one, so it's safe to use on buffalo and Queensland blue couch lawns. What these herbicides do, the reason they're called selective herbicides is because they only kill selected weeds. And that's what's on the label, is what they actually target. So they'll leave your lawn alone and they won't harm your lawn. They'll just target those selective weeds, which is why they're called selective herbicides. Oh, I'll tell you what, things you do, the PPE. I don't have anything else that goes up to the neck, so. So make sure when you read the labels. Also, if anyone manufactures these for like female hands, can you please let me know? See, this is ridiculous. Honestly. Anywho, make sure that when you are mixing up your herbicides, you read the label, because there's certain things you got to wear. I'm not wearing this because I think it looks fetching. I'm wearing it for safety purposes. So make sure you always follow the label. Don't get caught in the trap that some people do. They think, oh, it's going to die faster if I double the label rate or do something like that. No. All the research that has been done and all the testing that's been done leads to that label rate. So don't go more and expect to get more in terms of results. It's not going to happen. Okay, so 50 mils per 100. Got about 500 square meters, so 250. Ooh. So if you're on acreage, make sure you look into something like Javelin, or I think it's called Spearhead. It's the same as bow and arrow, but in like 10-litre jugs, much more cost effective for you, acreage and commercial users. So you want to fill up with about halfway with water, add in your product, and then fill up the rest of the way. And that just makes sure that the product's evenly distributed. It's not, you don't want to add it at the beginning and then put water in. You don't want to add it right at the end because it won't be sort of dispersed in the water. The other thing is I'm going to add the surfactant or the sticker. Don't add this in the beginning, add it right towards the end. Usually you add it after your herbicide. This will foam up. It's like dishwashing liquid sort of in a way, so don't add it early on. Yeah, had heaps of people ask me after last week's episode about the sprayer that I'm using. I use battery sprayers. They're so much better than the manual pump ones. First and foremost because you don't have to do much. But mostly because it's a really nice even distribution, really nice even spray pattern. Most of them have different settings that you can use. They're so good. If you try one, you will not go backwards. I think you can get the 10-litre solo ones for about 180 bucks. I'm pretty sure this one's around the same. This one's 12 litres. It's a Sylvan branded one. You can grab them from Bunnings. Anyways, I'm just going to put this out now. If I get a chance tomorrow, I might film putting the Surefire Buffalo out in the barnyard. But if not, I'll do that. I just might not be able to film it. So. This guy here, most people call it Roundup. Roundup is the brand, so the actual product is glyphosate, and that will pretty much kill anything that you put it on. So this is not the type of product to run around your lawn on and blanket spraying your lawn. You'll kill it all. But there is still a place for products like these, and I'll show you how I sort of go about using it. These next two products here, I've got Wetter 1000 and Spread Max, same thing. So these ones are stickers. Some people call them, I think, adjuvants, surfactants. Basically what these do is you pair this with your herbicide application. The reason you do that is because these break down the waxy layer of the plant. So it helps the plant to absorb the herbicides, which is what you want because that's how it dies. And we are all about killing things. This one's just a Bunnings special. And this one, I think I got it from an ag store. Same but different. It doesn't really matter, but I would definitely put one on. Especially if you're looking to target things like sedges, like nutgrass. I hate that weed. It has such a waxy leaf that if you're just going to go and spray, you know, sedge hammer or Sempra or whatever, if you're just going to go and spray that on it, it'll probably run right off. So make sure that you pair your herbicides with a surfactant so it sticks to the leaf and you're increasing the effectiveness of the product. So next two products over here. I'm really excited about this one. This one's called Ronstar, and this, I'm sure you've all heard of it, Barricade. Without a doubt, Barricade is probably the best pre-emergent on the market geared towards homeowners. The reason I say that is because it is labeled to stop paspalum, crow's foot, all those nasty grassy weeds. It's labeled to stop them from coming up, whereas pre-emergent, sort of like Ronstar and say Oxifert and things, they don't cover such a range of species. However, I grabbed this one for a few reasons. So number one, I'm sure as you look around, this lawn is not super healthy. There are bare spots left, right and center. And I'm also sort of a bit unsure about what I'm going to be doing here in the next 6 months. At some point, I'd like to put irrigation in, which means trenching, which means, you know, ripping up the soil and things like that. And if I were to apply Barricade, I'm just worried about what if I want to plant some new turf or if I need areas to repair. I'm just a little bit concerned about that. Whereas Ronstar does not have that same root pruning effect that Barricade has. So while it doesn't cover, I guess, as many of those grassy type weeds, it doesn't have the root pruning effect, okay? So when you would use Ronstar would be if you're sprigging a lawn, if you have just planted a new lawn, so you've just laid new turf, this product is perfectly safe for that. Does it say it here? Yep, so the active ingredient is oxadiazone, I hope I'm saying that right, which is the same active ingredient in products like Oxifert and Oxipro. So the only difference between those products and this one is that this one doesn't have a fertilizer component. And the reason I got this is because I want to put my own fertilizer out. So a fertilizer of my choice and then pair it with this. So really good product to look into. I don't think many people have sort of covered it, but those are the differences between these two pre-emergents. I should also mention that Barricade, the same active ingredient and the same pre-emergent is Spartan. So those are the two on the market if you have a really healthy lawn and you're not concerned about, you know, replanting that area or anything in the next 6 months. This is the product to use. If you do not have an established lawn or you are sprigging, seeding, whatever, this is the product to use, this or something like Oxifert, Oxipro. A few weeks ago, Ben from Lawn Tips put a weed control video out and he used this app in it, which I downloaded, you know, just for fun, check it out. And it is actually so good. It's called Picture This. You can grab it on the App Store. They do I think a 7-day trial, so I guess if you wanted to, you could probably go and identify all the weeds in your lawn in a week. Not that I'm telling you to do that. I'll see if I can screen record it. But basically, you use the app, you take a picture of the weed. So, for example, there's some paspalum here. It sort of scans it, yeah, and then it comes up with the result of what it is, and it shows you a couple of other pictures so you can sort of check on it. There's also an option where you can do like a 3D scan, so you take multiple pictures from different angles just to get a more accurate, I guess, identification. But I've done a quick walk around and sort of checked, and it's really accurate, like surprisingly accurate. And you just paint it on like that. It's a bit of a painful process, but it's very effective because you're painting Roundup onto the plant. So we might have a bit of a Dalmatian looking lawn here soon, but it's probably going to be an improvement on what it is at the moment anyway. So, and that's how you use the weed one. So it's really simple. A lot cheaper than buying a selective herbicide that'll do all of those grassy weeds. So there's another option for the average Joe. So this is another option, obviously, for you, especially if you've got heaps and heaps of weeds. I would probably use this if your soil was relatively soft. This is the opposite of that. Hard soil. Thank you, Emma. So yeah, I'd use this or the weed wand, or holy guacamole. Try not to start a grass fire, obviously. We recently had some family over for a birthday party for one of the kids, and my auntie was genuinely upset about these weeds. She said that they're noxious weeds or something, you need to be really careful, and you got to kill them with fire. And I was like, yes, I've got just the thing for that. I can't remember what it's called, but this will be a test for that little app. See if I can get a screen recording going. Okay. So, scanning, ragwort. Yeah, unintentionally spread, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So it's a declared pest. So I'm gonna get my flamethrower out. Obviously. Takeaway tips for today for weed control are: 1, make sure you apply your herbicides when the weeds are actively growing. So let them grow up higher than the grass. Don't cut them down real low. 2, make sure you use a surfactant or a wetter or a sticker just to make sure that you break down that waxy layer of the leaf. 3, make sure you read the label. Super important. There are so many herbicides out there that are not safe for certain grass types. There are also herbicides out there that aren't labeled for turf. So make sure you read them, make sure you know what you're applying. 4, I think we're up to 4. Make sure that you leave it a couple of days either side with mowing, so at least 2 to 3 days before and 2 to 3 days afterwards. And then last but not least, make sure you don't apply when rain is predicted within at least 24 hours. And probably the final one would be, make sure you do not spray when it's super windy. You'll get drift. And especially if you've got like a green cooch lawn, your neighbour's got blue cooch or buffalo, and you're using a herbicide that's not safe, that's not cool. You're not going to be very popular. So thanks so much guys for watching. I hope you got something out of the video this week. A massive shout out now to Tallis Townley. He's a little lad who is helping his mum with her lawn, doing all the sort of lawn care work. Massive shout out to you, Tallis. Thanks so much for subscribing and watching. If you'd like your lawn to feature on an upcoming episode, make sure you jump onto Lawn Care Australia, post up there. I'm more than happy to answer questions and things like that there as well. If you got something out of today's episode, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week on Lawn Care Australia.